Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to show you guys setting up this enclosure for my new baby chicks. If you guys saw my previous video, I told you guys the story of how hard it was getting these babies and what I went through to get them. And so now I'm just going to show you guys basically what I did the night I got them home from my cousins, how I set them up, and basically how I set up my tub. Now I have went over all of these items individually in another video, which I will link in the corner of the screen if you want to go watch that one, which will just show you all the individual items that I have here. But this video is just going to be showing you how I set it all up, and this is the end product. So this is essentially what it looks like whenever they're all sleeping. They're so sweet, look. They're all asleep, all four of them. But this is basically the setup, and I'm going to show you guys how I did it. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Okay guys, so it is almost dark, but we just got home from getting the baby chicks, and I wanted to show you guys. I got the chicks, they're in here. I'm gonna go set them up right now. I'm gonna film that for you guys, so I'm really excited to show you guys that. We did stop by TSC. Look at the pretty sunset. So we did stop by TSC on the way home, and I got some new heat bulbs, and I got another bag of organic food, which I'm going to show you guys that as well. Yeah, I'm just really excited to have chicks because I've been trying to do this for so long. So I'm gonna go set them up now. So the first thing we needed was the big tub, which I have here. Here are my pine shavings, which we're gonna have for our bedding, which we are gonna put inside there. You guys have seen these in a previous video. Then of course I have my heat lamp. This bulb inside is old, but I will show you the new ones. This is my food dish, my water dish. I got these at TSC, but I had them for a couple years now. These are the new bulbs that I bought because that old one needs to be tossed out. These are just red lamp heat bulbs. This is just how I heat my baby chicks. And then I got a new bag of Demore organic grower starter feed, and we are going to set this up for them now. First thing you're going to do is put a layer of your bedding of choice. Some people use these pine shavings. Some people have hemp bedding, anything that is non-dusty and safe for baby chicks. This block will last me the entire time that I have these chicks, with changing all of this out once a week. It's really compressed, so a lot fits in this bag. So I'm going to be spreading this out and using this as my base. The next thing I'm doing is swapping this old light bulb out for a new one. I personally don't use the same bulb 2 years in a row. I really don't want to do any fire risk here, and my old bulb did work from last year's chicks, but I didn't want to take a chance. So this ceramic fixture is going to have a brand new bulb for this year's chicks. The next thing you're going to want to do is make sure you put your wire cage on there really tight, and then of course tighten the ceramic hook on there for your clamp to make sure that it's safe and secure and it isn't going to fall, and that's what I'm doing here. The next thing I'm doing is adding a couple of bricks in here. I mentioned in my previous video, linked in the top of the screen, if you don't want them to have a bunch of debris and bedding in their water, you may want to lift their water off of the ground a little bit. I'm building up the bedding around the block, so the block is not very tall and the chicks can jump up there and get their water. And I'm also going to use the organic crumble that I bought to give them their starter and fill up their feed bowl. So that's what I'm doing now. I just fill up my feed bowl like this, just so that the holes have all the food in there. I don't use the cylinder that comes that screws in the top of it, kind of like the water bowl that you saw. I just fill it like this, and I find that that's really easy, and the chicks can get into the top of it and get the food really easily. So here is the overall setup before I put the chicks in. You can see I have their lamp clamped onto the chair in the warm side, and then they have a cool side, and then now I'm just putting in their food and water. You can see I'm going to move this up on top of the bricks. For the first night I did take it off of the bricks, but now it is back on there because I do like it where they can't get a bunch of the bedding in it. So that is what this is here, and that is the setup before the chicks. Alright, it is time to put the sweet babies into their new enclosure. These are my 4 little chicks. I have 2 buff Orpingtons, and then I have 2 Barred Rocks, which are so sweet. And we are going to go on and just get them into their new enclosure because they've been in this box long enough, waiting for me to set up their little house. So far they're doing really, really great. They're just the sweetest, and honestly they haven't grown very much. I've had them for a week now, and they're doing really, really well. I just love getting baby chicks. It's always such a sweet time of year, especially around Easter. Obviously, buying them responsibly when you are fully prepared for them. But they're just so sweet and I really love them. Here I'm dipping their beaks into the water. I do this with all my baby chicks just so that they know that they have water and where it's at. So you just dip their little beaks in so that they know where it's at, and then that way they know where it's at and they can come back to it. So this is the setup. It's completely done. You can see I have my lamp at the warm end. There's a cool end. I have my mesh netting over the top to protect them. They've got their food and water, and my clamp lamp is just on a metal chair to hold it up high enough. And this is my night vision. I have my Wise camera on them so that I can watch them at night and just make sure that they're doing really well. Thus far, they've done great. I've had them for a week now and they're thriving. They're doing really, really well. No issues whatsoever. And I'm just really, really pleased. So I do want to show you guys really quick. I'm sure I showed it in the other clips, but this is the food that I'm feeding them. It's Do More Organic. It is a chick scratch grower. This is basically a chick grower feed. It's a crumble, and the bag is empty because I've actually transferred this into another bag that's easier for accessing, because this bag is kind of like long and skinny and it's really narrow. So anyway, I transferred this into a larger bag, but this is the feed that I am feeding them, and I highly recommend a starter scratch. Obviously nothing with calcium. I prefer organic so that my chickens' eggs will always be organic. We feed our other chickens all organic. And so yeah, this is just what I feed them. And those are my babies. You can see I do have to put the mesh back on top for protection, but I have it open so you guys can see them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me set up their little enclosure. Obviously, I do have a heat lamp. You guys saw that in another video, and then it's here. I choose to do a heat lamp. My cousin did get a heat plate, and I really did like it. I've never seen one in person before. Obviously, like co-ops and stuff, they all use heat lamps, like heat bulbs. That's just what we use. And then we just keep a smoke detector, and I have my security camera here. So we have a security camera that I keep on them at all times, and that is how I watch them and monitor them from my bed when I'm not home. I will literally just lay in bed and watch the chicken camera sometimes, like for a few minutes, to see if they're okay. But it's just like a reassurance that they're fine and they're safe, and I can see them when I'm not here or whatever. That is how we have our chicks set up. But I am looking into possibly getting a heat plate for the next time I get chicks, which I don't think I'll get any next year, pending that all these survive, they thrive, they are good layers for me. I doubt we'll get any next year, just because we do like to offset. You guys know that. I don't get chicks. I have gotten them every year for the past 4 years, but I may not need any more next year. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so that is how I set them up, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments down below for me, and I will reply to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Be kind. Bye.